Number 9 is a personal favorite of mine.
Vietnam.
Vietnam. Okay, let me just talk about Vietnam real quick. Okay, for me, 2 things I like about Vietnam. Straight facts. Number 1, Vietnam, 7% divorce rate. That's a 7% divorce rate in Vietnam. Okay, Vietnamese girls are smoke shows. All right, Vietnamese girls are a little bit thicker than other Asian girls. They have really good curves, and not like rapper music video curves, like normal, like that's attractive curves. Okay, and the 7% divorce rate is very good. And then another thing too is the obesity rate in Vietnam, I think, is like 9%. So you're literally in a country where 91% of the women are thin and in good shape. And in addition to that, right, the everything that you do there is so cheap. Okay, Vietnam is super cheap, and you might thinking I'm gonna go into the jungles and there's gonna be fucking people with machetes chasing me and like it's gonna be Vietnam War all over again. It's not the case. One interesting thing about the Vietnamese is they don't have a complex about Americans because they beat us in the Vietnamese War. I mean, the Vietnam War was a clear L for America. I went down to Saigon, right? Ho Chi Minh City, whichever you want to call it. And dude, the food is amazing. The vibe is amazing. And if you're a digital entrepreneur, digital nomad, there's actually a big hub of people down there in Vietnam that are, living for cheap and building big projects. I don't know if you guys remember the game Flappy Bird back in the day. Remember Flappy Bird? That was actually created by a Vietnamese developer. He was making like, dude, I think at the peak of that, he was making like $80,000 a day.
I heard he like was not into it or something.
Well, he turned it off because so many people on TikTok and Instagram were like, I'm dying from the Flappy Bird addiction. And he like let it all get to his head. I think he made a couple million, then he turned it off. But I mean, it's an awesome hub. Vietnamese pho is delicious. Banh mi sandwiches are delicious. So if you're going to go stay in Vietnam, you could get a place for rent in Vietnam. If you live there, anywhere between $500 to $900 a month for like a nice 1-bedroom apartment that's like modern, clean, running water. They have a system. They have a delivery service there, like their equivalent of Uber called Grab, Grab, and you can have food delivered to you. You can ride a taxi. You can ride a motorcycle taxi. Motorcycle taxis, like you can travel like 10 miles on a motorcycle taxi for like what, like $5? Mm-hmm. Get there super fast. I love Vietnam. I went there 2019. I also went to a luxury resort in Vietnam on an island called Phu Quoc. Flew a plane there. Went to Phu Quoc Island, and I was staying at the Marriott. It was gorgeous, super cheap. They had a casino on the site. I don't gamble, so I didn't go. But like, if you guys like gamble, I mean, if I do gamble, I like play. I'll play poker or blackjack, but typically not a gambler. But it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of good stuff. And the thing about Vietnam that's great is like very safe. Like Asia in general is safe.
Yeah.
Like South America, you have to like watch out where you're going some places. Like you're not gonna get like, maybe if you go to like, we don't have Cambodia on the list. They call it Scambodia. You know, Cambodia, like probably gonna get.
Yeah, I've been there a couple of times. It just, it didn't make the list.
Anything to add about Vietnam?
No, I think that Vietnam is really inexpensive. And, a part of like the passport bro philosophy is enjoying the benefits of countries being much cheaper and just like watching your dollar go farther.
Yeah.
Like we talked about yesterday, my trainer charges me $13 an hour, mm-hmm. and his charges $100 an hour. So that's the kind of like difference you can experience when you go to places like Vietnam. Not a whole lot to say. Pretty girls, inexpensive. I think it's expat friendly, mm-hmm. and overall solid option for someone who's wanting to do the single nomad lifestyle.
Yeah.
Looks like we got Justine.
Yep. So, I mean, Vietnam, look, dude, Vietnam is, I cannot express. Okay. Like first things first, let's go back to the things we were talking about yesterday. What makes a good girl, right? The low divorce rate. I mean, 7% divorce rate, dude. That is huge. Vietnamese families are everywhere. Bro, when I went to Vietnam, did you realize that there's fucking kids everywhere? Like, it's just kids. They are just having tons of kids out there. Good thing about Vietnam too, there's a three-headed race of countries rushing into Vietnam and modernizing the hell out of it. That is China, that is Korea, and that is Japan. They are sending people in. They have low cost of work there. There's a lot of steel that's made in Vietnam, and these countries they're seeing the opportunity there. And again, I talk about like, the 10 20 year plan. Like there's still 10 to 20 good years left in these countries before theoretically the cost of living may or may not go up. It is slightly getting more expensive, but like if you live in San Francisco and you're paying like $4,000 a month for a one bedroom studio, dude, if you can work remote and head over to Vietnam, you'll save so much money. You'll be with way higher quality women than in San Francisco or anywhere in America, quite frankly. The good thing that I like about Vietnamese girls too is you have to work to survive in Vietnam. So these girls, like, they're not lazy. You know what I mean? They have a work ethic. When you have a work ethic, this is a good thing in general. A lot of, like, I don't know, me personally, I can't deal with lazy girls.